So initially we started this project talking about how Portland is garbage. That's what we did. But it quickly evolved to homelessness. It's not what you think it is.
That's true. How did that happen? How did it evolve like that?
Well, we ended up going around and we were filming all the homeless camps. We were filming all the just garbage everywhere, and we decided, you know what? Let's go interview somebody. And as we started interviewing this guy, well, wait, Quincy, you were the first one to do it.
I was. We actually went along. We were driving down the street, and we were like, "Oh, let's record this little camp." And I think it was your idea that you wanted to try to get real close up to the camp. So as we started to get close up to the camp, the guy was like, "Please don't record that area. It's not mine." And we proceeded from there. Like, well, do you mind if we ask you a few questions? And so it began.
And come to find out, like, I've already had these quote-unquote preconceived notions of like homelessness and, you know, is it as bad as everybody thinks it is? Did society really, you know, screw them over? Well, so we started asking those questions. And what you guys are about to see is not just the one guy. We went all over Portland. We went all over Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest Portland, and we interviewed people from every corner. And pretty much all of them had the exact same thing to say.
There was only a few that we didn't go to. Why didn't we stop at some of those?
Well, let's just say some of them are pretty rough. And what's funny about that is even though we're sitting there going, ooh, no, yeah, there's a drug deal going down or something like that's happening.
We're about to get shanked, maybe.
Right. Well, some of the people we interviewed actually talked about that and said, ooh, yeah, you probably shouldn't go to some of those. But you'll guys will see that here in a little bit.
And the first thing you're going to see right now is a few of their stories of why they are homeless, why they are on the streets, and the choices they made either to get there or not get there.
I chose to be homeless. I had a bad relationship happen. I got told one thing and came out a different whole another situation. My kid wasn't really mine. So I just moved out and I started using it. And that put me on the streets real quick. Couldn't afford to pay my bills. You know, couldn't keep car payment. I lost my car. Couldn't keep rent, so I lost my house. And then one of the streets I
I was helping my parents sell their house when they retired. They moved to Arizona, and that's when exactly the price of the rent up. Couldn't find a place, and just kind of tripped it.
I was 18 years old, and that was when, everybody was piercing, back when piercing was trending. before tattooing, of course.
Right.
And 18th birthday, I went out, got my tongue pierced in Portland. I was living in Vancouver at the time with my parents, of course, still. And I went out and got my tongue pierced.
Mm-hmm.
Fainted on the way down the steps. and after that, my father got really upset. Back then I couldn't understand why. And because a lot of us in Gresham at that time,
right.
we were double hooping. We were doing the Fast and Furious type. What do you call it? We were all aspiring to be rich kids. And the tongue ring was one of the things. And a couple of the elders that we looked up to got theirs done. And so when I turned 18, I went and got mine done, and my father, he disapproved. So it was either take it out, which I couldn't. I was still doing the hydrogen peroxide for infection, and or get out. So I was pushed to the streets and been on the streets ever since.
How old are you now?
Just rounding 39.
And you've been on the streets since you're
Yes,
18?
sir. Yes.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's, you said you're 39 or going?
39. I should be 39 in August.
So that's 20 years.
Yeah.
Here in Portland.
Portland, Vancouver,
On
the
the
region.
streets.
Yeah, in the Regency.
No thoughts for me really to be on the street. I don't know why I'm out here. Why I'm still here. Just being homeless. Being homeless and going through my probation and stuff like that.
I used to be a part owner of a business. I used to make $60,000 a year. I took my first week vacation in 4 years, and in that time, my business partner did the fucking thing to the ground. He invested in people and equipment that we couldn't afford. Got heavily in debt. I borrowed against a corporate card, my personal card, made fucking payroll. Next thing you know, I'm $20,000 in debt and homeless.
Saw was people telling their stories about why they became homeless, like why they're on the streets right now, right? Well, what a lot of people don't want to talk about, what a lot of people refuse to acknowledge, is that some people actually choose to stay that way. They actually choose to be homeless.
No, I mean, I could drop this any time and go get a job somewhere and be good to go. Third, drug use, another part, hard times, and then it just all varies. You just got to go around and asking people's stories and stuff.
Right.
How many do you think are by choice? Like by choice of actions and like,
about half.
About half are done by choice?
Yeah.
And yours would be a choice.
Mine would be a choice.
Do you think there's
Choice from the ones I have met. Yeah.
Why do you think a lot of people are choosing to be homeless?
A lot of them are unregistered sex offenders. A lot of them are from other states where they've done bad. A lot of them are, some states don't expedite to other, states.
Do you think a lot of people are running from like the law?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they know that the homeless is here. And
I don't know. The people that want to be homeless, they don't care about their appearance. They don't care about. They don't care about nothing. They friend you. They like you. I'm telling you, there's people that's hurt people out here, man. It is hard. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of people. They want to live out here. They want to feed off the land. I don't mind living out here if we weren't going to.
I call that easy living. A lot of the younger ones are like that. And some of the older ones. But you got that in-between crowd who, how would you call it? they don't want to be here, but they're here, so they make the best of how they deal with their day every day. And you got the other ones that all they care about when they get up in the morning is going to get that first fix, or what do you call it? Doing what they call a rent spaggy, which is your leftovers from the night before. And, you know, that's what they do in the morning. And then I know guys that have been arrested for shoplifting mouthwash because they drink it, because it's got alcohol in it. So, you know, I mean, you got those that do and those that don't. You know, I mean, everybody's got their own thing. You know,
freedom. There's a whole lot more freedom when you're not tied down anywhere. You can get up, pack up your camp, and wander on wherever you want at any given time. A lot less responsibility, but at the same time, there can be a lot more responsibility too. So you got to take care of your campsite. You got to make sure you're up and at the food bank when they're open for that 3-hour window or whatever.
Probably something like 75 to 80% of the people down here don't want to be down here. There's probably 20 to, probably ballpark is 20, 25% that they've settled with this. This is a lifestyle for them. But personally, no, I don't want to be here. But I'm trapped, man. I got no place to do laundry or anything.
So you see here that there are some people that want to be homeless. Now, let's check out the ones who don't want to be homeless.
There is some people that want to be out here, but there's a lot of us. For me, myself, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but this is the page that I'm offended by people that are out here. I was out here 5 years and nobody knew I was homeless. Okay? I mean, I look rough today, but I mean, I always take a shower. I always wear nice clothes. I always, don't have a crowd around me. You know what I mean? I try to be as proper as I can. I told them I was always like that. You know, if I just had a studio, I swear to God, I would be so happy. If it took all my damn money a month, I would do it. It's hard out here, and I'm 54, man. 54 damn years old, and I don't have anybody to protect me and help me. You know, all my family's dead, and it's sad that the way life is that you can't get help. And they talk bad about homeless people. I'm not a bad person. I mean, I ain't saying I never broke the law when I was younger, but I'm not a bad person. I'll give the person the shirt off my back, food, anything they need. But people out here, just because you live here, you're bad. Right. Even if you've never done nothing wrong in your life. I don't choose to be out here. I want off the street so bad. I don't want to be out here. No, I'm going to die out here. I know it. I'm going to die out here.
Of course not. I like showers, bro. Showers are it's a catch-22. If I had a job, I could get a place to sleep and shower. But without a place to sleep and shower, I can't get a job. Right now, my phone's defective. I can't charge it. It's broken. I got to figure out how the fuck to get that fixed. So I couldn't even look for a job if I had, without the library being open, I got access to nothing. If I had a place to sleep and shower, yes, I could bootstrap myself up, but currently, certainly not. Oh, I had a place to store my stuff while I'm working, which seems to be like the big picture, I mean, why? I mean, it's great that you're supplying these, but why would, there's just not enough storage. I mean, this is everything I got. I can't fucking go to work living all this.
Saw, not everybody chooses. There's some people out there that really don't want to be homeless and they want to get out. But as you will see from this next group of interviews, well, some people have different opinions.
I'm going to say a lot of it's hard times, and a lot of it's drugs. Up here in Portland, it's You want a prime example, just walk up the street to the Target store and stand in front of it for an hour and you'll see why. That's where the heroin addicts hang out, to buy, sell, and trade.
I think most people wound up here due to bad luck. Now, I think there's a lot of them that are still out here because of choice. They could go apply for programs and whatnot and get back into housing, but don't because they'd rather be out here.
You know, a lot of people, you know, their parents are sick of them, or people they were staying with or living with were sick of them. They didn't have an income. They blew their income on drugs, on and on.
I mean, you got to break it up into why people are here.
What you're doing,
Circumstances in their control or circumstances beyond their control. I'm a beyond my control. Other people are here to psychological or drug issues or
you're
whatnot.
establishing
You know?
according to your perspective.
Just heard that so many chose to be homeless. Now we're going to hear why they choose to be homeless. Do you think it's a crutch that the city offers so much, or churches or whatnot? Do you think it's a crutch in meaning that it allows you guys to stay where you're at without really, does it really help?
No, you know, I do. I see that, you know, and, you know, while we're on that subject, you know, I just, up in Vancouver, they've got a homeless project going on, you know, a theory and a project, you know, a trial on the navigation center. I don't know if you're aware of it, but yeah, I went there and whoa, man, it's like, what do I need to work for? You know, they're giving out counseling, they're giving out food, they're giving out clothing, they're giving out showers, they're giving out washer and dryers.
Right.
You know, the only thing they're giving out is girlfriends, you know? So,
Right.
so yeah, it was like, wow, I mean, you know, and my dad, you know, the whole time he's been pressing me, you need to get a job. So, you know, I was in and out. I don't know what all they do there, but yeah, I do see that. Kind of like they kind of enable us, you know.
And I use my food card. There's a lot of people out here in this community that will sell their food card or part of it to get certain things for what they need. I've never done that. I use the thing. Living outside the thing lasts 14 days.
I've been down these streets for years.
For 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, man.
So how do you, like, make a living, your money? Or
Well, I get Social Security. I get
where does that come from? Or where does it come to? I mean, you don't have no, like, address.
I got a debit card.
Okay.
You know, and it comes there.
Well, I know a lot of them do what I do. You fly the signs, you can fly food, stuff like that. I mean, you got people that'll walk around here and they'll actually ask people if they got something for them to do where they can make enough to get something to eat. And most of the time when you ask people that, they're more than willing to buy you something to eat and you ain't even going to work for it. Why? Because you asked. It's the key question. Hey, can I work for it? You know? That's a lot of it. Usually by then, people have run out of food stamps or they've sold them. They've spent their Social Security money. You get a lot of people out here that get SSI and all that. They don't live anywhere. So they spend that and they go over and hit the motels on interstate for a week or two. And then they're broke. And they're right back out here doing the same thing again. They enable them because these people get complacent with, like, oh, you can go over here at this time during the day and get something to eat. Or you can go over here at this time during the day and get something to eat. You know, or these people will come by with a wagon full of food at this time. You know, they get used to it. You know, and you can't be that way. they don't really handle the homeless situation. Most of the time, they just give them what they want. They give them what they want. You know, it's like you can't starve in this town. I mean, the only way you're going to starve in this town is if you don't want to go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the summertime when we're not under shelter-in-place order, I sell waters to passing motorists. In the wintertime, when that's not feasible, I fly a sign asking for help.
Portland feeds you. They're good. You know, they've been pretty good to us the last couple of years, especially. You know, church groups coming out, blankets. I mean, you know, hygiene, showers there, just whatever. You know, we police ourselves pretty much. We do. You know, we do. You might as well just go kill yourself if you go hungry in Portland. Okay. Because honestly, you're going to do it anyway. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You'd have to trap yourself somewhere because there's so many places that serve food and all that, and you can get help no matter what it is. You know, I forget what I can't at the top of my head. The little book that they got out, whatever it's called. Hey, what's the little book called that we all reference to?
I'm sorry, what?
The little book that's got all the places to eat in it and all that. Window, clothing, medical, all that.
Yeah.
What's it called?
211, I don't know.
Yeah,
Street roots.
Yeah, Street Roots. Yeah, Street Roots book. I mean, come on. You know, if somebody's not doing something, it's because they don't want to. Okay. You know.
Now, listening to some of their stories, I understand how some of you could be sympathetic and feel bad for them. It's completely understandable to feel sorry when you see people in the condition that they're in, such as some of these homeless people.
Hey, we don't have the right to judge anybody because you know what? The fact is, we are all, as Americans, recovering from something. They barely got anything in the first motherfucker.
Right.
They're sleeping in their fucking cars or in tents, fucking struggling. Even though they don't want to say they're struggling like a motherfucker because I'll tell you what, it wasn't no fun for me out here.
Right.
And I'm a rough motherfucker.
Right.
For real. I'm super rough. I was one of the worst out here. Bad news.
I don't know if you guys remember the Faces of Meth and when that came out, when that was a big thing to really just go after it, you know. And I learned after I've watched you even call somebody a tweaker anymore, and whoa, now they can't get a job. They can't, I mean, it's, you know, you almost should be able to file SSI for being called a tweaker, because if you're getting called a tweaker, you're done. You're a thief. You're this. You're that. And that's not the case. You know, these guys are out there. They might look like they're thieving. They might look like they're doing this, and you really got to go up to them and ask them, hey man, what are you doing? You know, you're in my trash can. Are you identity theft? Are you cans? Are you looking for neat things. What are you?
I was a homeowner, I know. You know, I busted my butt for that crap, you know, and took pride in it. I still take pride even though I don't have a home. You know, I make it in my home for that moment. And I don't trash. I throw my garbage away, you know. I don't, I pick up needles. I pick up garbage everywhere I go, you know, because of that. But it's just judging and putting us all in one category, it's just not.
Sympathies there, right? Well, here's where some of those sympathies might not be so prevalent. We're going to blow up one of the biggest misconceptions that there is when it comes to the homeless crisis in America. Drugs versus mental illness. Now, I'm sure that the majority of you watching this right now is going to go, yeah, drugs are a problem, but mental illness, that's the biggest problem. We're about to blow that up.
Because all the money from the weed scene was supporting everything else. For real. I mean, right now you can buy a gram of speed for $5 on the street.
Still on drugs or doing any early drugs now at this point?
Here and there. I mean, it's not a big thing. I'm just not doing what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, I used to be heroin.
Okay.
So that was my drug of choice. So.
Oh, that's a lot of people I've met never did drugs till they got here.
How about mental illness? Like, what would you put above it? Mental illness, drugs, equal?
Equal. A lot of the people that I've noticed, the drug, you know, you'll be talking to somebody. Schizophrenia is a big one out here.
Right.
Very big. And I see somebody, you know, normal I'm talking to, and then they go do hit a dope or something. And all of a sudden, you're stealing something from them. They're just totally, I mean, they are just left field, you know, and 180. And it's scary sometimes, you know, how extreme they get. But yeah, I think it's drugs and the mental that
it's drugs. Now the drugs will make you mental. The drugs will make you.
You think that's the main factor?
Yeah. The drugs. Methamphetamines. Hey, back in the 80s, we did coke in the villa. It was crack coke. Man, that shit is a rich man's high. You get out here and buy a 20, that's going to last you 3 days out here. And they're going to be twacked out of their mind up for 3 or 4 days, eating shit off the ground. I've ate out of garbage cans before, not now, but a few years ago, yeah. You know, it was in plastic, but from KFC, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I have.
I'm going to say the drugs, because the people that have the mental health problems are doing drugs. This I know because I'm out here all the time. I see it every day. And you can tell in this town when people ain't been taking their drugs. Because around the 20th of the month, I don't care what month it is, people start screaming. They walk down the street yelling at themselves, or they're yelling at other people. I got a little Oriental lady that hangs out up here. Every time I see her, for some reason, she tries to kick me. And I've been around her off and on for years, and I never had a problem with her until now. Now all of a sudden, it's just like she starts screaming and tries to kick me. I've been living here 40-something years, and I've noticed in this town that most of it just seems to be, a lot of it's drug related. I don't care if you've got mental problems. If you're doing the drugs, it ain't no good for you. I mean, I'm bipolar myself, and I suffer from what you call it, romantic highs, romantic lows, and I might smoke a little bit of pot, and I might have a drink every now and then, but I ain't out here like these people.
Yeah, well, buddy, I was in method-induced psychosis myself way back when they had crank. Okay, this stuff ain't nowhere near as powerful as what I'm used to. I don't even want to, these people can do that. You know, they can just do some of that stuff and then they're all twat and they're all right. I do an interview here. Thank you. And pretty much, we're wanting to know what the hell's going on with that. You know, because to be honest with you, I'm all pissed off. Yeah, because I can't get that high. Right. Where'd you get yours at? No, but that's what a lot of them say. They're like, damn, how did they get, like that? We do this crap and but on and on. But these kids are way out there. Okay. And they get a lot of what they call, not a lot, but a few what they call hot shots and stuff and crap like that.
So you just saw how a lot of these guys sit there and think that, drugs might be, the bigger problem here. But check out what they said when we asked them about the mental illness part. Maybe the drugs cause mental illness?
Because certain applications of certain drugs,
Right.
I think, does cause mental shit.
Of course.
I've seen some stuff, but I've seen some stuff from like 14 days of no sleep. I've seen some stuff from cow shit toadstools, magic mushrooms. I've seen some stuff from smoking pot, and I just thought, nah, that can't be real. And until I got in the middle of it, I was like, what the fuck did I do?
I think it's the drugs that bring the mental illness. Half of them aren't even crazy, and they get to roll in that bubble, and whoa, shit, what is he even talking about anymore, I think that's the main issue.
Drugs will drive you mental at times. Just being out here will drive you mental at times.
Are a big factor in the homeless community, as we can see. But how much do we really know about the crimes that are involved in the homeless community? How deep does it go? It goes deep, as you will see with some of their testimonies that they have to share.
Right. And I get it. I don't want to see this crap out here. Who does? They pay for their house. They're getting their stuff stolen. People are taking craps on their, come on, dude. They're throwing trash everywhere and they don't give a crap. Yeah, I totally empathize with them. I do. Because I'd be pissed if I owned a house. Straight up. Would. I'd be kicking some ass.
What are the categories?
There's just one. And we're all pieces of crap. And, you got your tweakers, you got your friggin' your chomos, you got all this. And they leave garbage everywhere. And trash. And we got people that say, hey, can you hold on to this for a while? I'm like, I'm not storage. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm getting rid of everybody's scrap. And, it gives all the homeless a bad name. And these jerk-offs go and steal, all this crap from the homeowners.
It was so bad that I cried. And I was homeless myself. And a lot of people die, women die down there. They get strangulated. The police don't talk about it.
They get what?
There were 7 women that got killed in 1 year down there. Strangulated.
Really?
Killed, yeah.
By other homeless?
No, yeah, by other homeless people. We don't know who's doing it.
You got the sex trafficking out here, I guess. I haven't really ran across it, but I've heard a few of the girls talk about it. We catch any of that crap. We don't do pedophiles at all. Not at all. There's just a couple. Somebody's got a record on that. We do look because, peeing in public or something like that. We have, but, some rapists got the street, just trail all that. We look people up. Right.
So it's not just a city that has to deal with the homeless crime. It's also within their own community, their own backstabbing that they do toward each other, their own crimes within the community that the homeless people have. And that's something that many of us do not even understand.
There's a lot of homeless person on homeless person crime, as you said, you can call it. It's not cool, it's been hard out here. It's kind of
steal your stuff out here, you got to turn around and buy it over.
And who's they? You said they.
Man, the people on the streets, they're hungry out here. Now even more with what's going on with society. Oh, they're terrible. They don't care. They'll smile in your face and wait till dark time to come back and steal your shit. See, you don't see my stuff out. Now that's his shit. My stuff is all locked in. I made a fence out of pallets. Goes all the way around.
Okay.
I pull the tarps in, lock it down at night, and you can't get in. If you get in, you're gonna get beat before you get there.
You'll leave to go do whatever for the day and come back, and stuff will just be missing from your tent. Anything that's outside your tent you store that you can't fit in your tent, you store outside, is easily up for grabs. And if the person coming through knows your routine, knows who you are, or has a good inclination that you're not home, anything inside your tent can be up for grabs.
Yeah, man, probably easy prey. They work on a lot of homeless people and the working girls and stuff like that because, well, there they are. I mean, he'll come up and just start sitting around your tent and stuff like that. So a lot of us don't want to be bothered by anybody, And he just, hell yeah, he is. Guarantee he is. That's why she was like that. She's not like that for no reason. She's like that because she's had to kick him out of there 3 or 4 times. Not recently. I don't know, maybe. But she already knows. She's like, I kick rocks because she knows what's gonna happen. She knows there's a couple of them like that. That's fine. Just trying to look at somebody to get over on somebody. I guess we're already down. We don't need that crap.
Is that something that you have to just deal with all the time?
No, pretty down the road. A lot of them just keep moving, Sure. If they're in somebody known, if they get somebody that's going through some of your camp, whatever, and ripping off their stuff and all that, tax. Right. I told them to kick rocks. The problem is a month later they're back to around the same people, and the same people are all They're not enforcing what's going on there. There's no consequence. I think. And we got people that overdo it.
Right.
And we got people that don't stand up for themselves. You get some 80-year-old man out there with shaking a cane in here or something like that. He's not afraid to get hit. Right. He's not afraid to get hit, but we don't want him being messed with. Come this way a little bit, please. We do try to keep the lanes clear for the public. If we don't, of course. The police have a problem with that. We have a problem with that. City of Portland has a problem with that. We don't mind that. But, that kind of hurts. We tend to be as polite as we can, even to the rude ones.
Sleep in my project, which is a van that's converted into an art studio, and it's very small. So I had to go with like a Japanese Asian type theme, because I don't know if you're aware, but they live in dresser drawers over there. So that's where I'm staying right now, and I'm learning their culture and learning the zen that they get from not taking up space, not having a carbon footprint, recycling, and things like that. So that's where I'm staying right now, and it's the safest place for me. Besides the fact that I had some windows broken, when I first started the project.
Now, when you say van, are you meaning like minivan?
Oh yeah, 2000 Dodge Caravan.
Okay, 'cause I've seen that a lot with some of the homeless people.
Yeah.
That they have vans.
You noticed that also?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I didn't notice it until I was gifted one, and then I go, wait a minute. And I came from Washington over to here, Portland. I go, wait a minute here. But I had to take it out of the negative, go into the positive, and go, what can I do for this population with this van? So I started handing out sandwiches, going and picking up more food than I needed so I could hand some out. I started, posting things in the windows for them to read, like information stuff, different.
Yeah, maybe other homeless people? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I seem to draw a lot of attention. People with attention deficit hyperactive disorder, 314.4, people tend to think that I'm on a narcotic, in which I'm not. So I get asked a lot, I get approached a lot, I get, pestered. But yeah, I feel in my life I'm doing just fine. I've learned to access all the community benefits, all the different help organizations that are within Portland.
Right. So you've learned to go and gravitate toward all these things that are helping you, but they're helping you stay kind of homeless, though, right?
And last year I had that theory. I had that theory that what I was doing was it's getting me nowhere, and it's forcing me to stay like this because people are following me, and I do a good job at it. So
you learn the tricks and the trades to what they give you.
Yeah,
because that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
Right, they're supplying everything that you need.
They're giving you the steps.
The steps to what? Stay here.
To learn the nonprofit organizations, because there's so many jobs in nonprofit for those types of people. Because just their intel alone is priceless.
It's all right to be homeless in Portland. I mean, you have your resources, the people that come around and give you snacks, water, the blankets, whatever you need to basically survive the night and get on with your day.
Homelessness is always going to be here unless you make it illegal, because there's people that just don't want it. They think they're entitled and should hand everything to them, and they're lazy, and so they're going to sit on the streets and steal from everybody. That attitude's going to be there, unfortunately.
I call it Philly, the cheesesteak guy over here. I've never ever really asked him for nothing, but when all this stuff started happening, he was yelling at me one day, and I didn't know he was yelling at me. He was yelling at me from over here, and I was across the street. And finally he kept waving at me. Finally he came outside and he yelled at me because I'm talking to you. It's like, get over there. And he goes, oh, I got a couple sandwiches for you. And the sandwiches are spendy. What do you mean? I got 3 of these foot-long Philly cheesesteaks here. And I go, what's that? And he said, oh, I made them for you. He said, you never asked me for nothing. He goes, I figure you'll give 1 or 2 of them away. And I looked at him, kind of funny. I started laughing. He goes, nope, you got a refrigerator. He laughed at him. I go, yeah, I do. But, they'll go, well, Portland does some things that they shouldn't be doing. And Portland doesn't do enough of the things that they should be doing, I've seen people from other states come up here and they see how the homeless are treated. And they say, man, it'd be worth it to me to quit my $100,000 a year job just to come here and sleep on the street. He goes, yeah, you can go poop in the doorway, they clean it up. You can go do this, they clean it up. They do this, see, that's
All right, so we just talked a bit about how they're enabled, right? Now, guess what? The homeless actually have ideas on how to help themselves. Check out what they have to say about their solution to ending homelessness.
Man, you think these people that are homeless, a lot of them don't know how to work. They haven't had jobs in forever. They're used to the hustle and bustle of the hustle. I got 2 hours of in-home counseling to learn how to live indoors. That's how deep it gets.
I get a feeling about that, and I'll tell you what it is. I feel if the city of Portland would step up and say, hey, you want to get off the street? Work. So, city, I mean, we got jobs out there we can get to anyone. The drunk, anybody. You can give the town drunk a trash can and a picker and a deal, and he can go out and pick up trash, make a few bucks for whatever, and have a place to live. But I think that's what they should do. I was in Arizona a couple years ago, and they got a thing down there called Workshare, and they give you 30 days in the shelter right off the bat. And if you start working for them a little bit around there, more work, they end up getting more people jobs at pretty good places because they offer them you want to come in here and eat? Work. Take a shower? Work. Spend the night? Work a little, you know? And it works out really well because 90% of the people that run that place were homeless people. And now they're not homeless. But yeah, I think if they were to do something like that, I think it would work out pretty good. I actually think people would do it. You know, I think people would actually work, you know, whatever. You know, you wanna stay someplace, you put in a couple hours every day, get your bed, get you a shower, food.
I'm regional. I'm from Oregon City to Temple all the way to Toledo, Washington. So far, I plan to make it farther up. I hope to get to Seattle. They got 51 cranes right now, and I don't know what those guys are doing, but they got some serious organization also that I'd like to take a look at.
I really don't ask. I don't like asking for money, and if some people do. If some people do. It's probably a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. If someone's in a good mood, you get like a $5 bill, or whatever. But I rarely ask. I don't feel right doing it. You know, he just gave me what I asked for, and I loved it, and that's all I can think about doing. But now, if I ask someone, it's like I know they're gonna say no, so it's gonna shut me down. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Because you got it handed to you as a kid.
Yep.
And you're realizing that life isn't like that.
So I'm working my way up.
The Bible talks about putting away childish things. That's one of those childish things you got to put away. To become a better man, become a better person, you got to put away that childish thought that it's just handed to me because it's not.
No, yeah, this life is not handed to anybody. And I know that. I have to work towards knowing that.
And I know down deep inside you as a man, I know for a fact you don't want to live like this. I know that.
No, I don't. You know, I had family back at home, and they want me to do treatment and all that. I did treatment. I got my stuff taken care of, and they just, for some reason, wanted to have me back, and it was just last week.
Right.
So I'm like,
do you think that you need to prove anything to them?
I proved what they told me that I needed to do. I don't know what more I need to do or what more I could do.
Because you're used to this, and we all know it's hard to walk away from something you're comfortable with.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you think that might be something that you could perhaps show that you want to walk away from something that you're really comfortable with, you're used to?
I mean, I could walk away from this right now and get in your guys' car and go wherever you guys are gonna go and do whatever I need to do. Like I'll do it. I just, you know, it needs to be something that I would like to, you know, like interest me. I'm like,
I get that.
Hands-on person.
I get that.
You know, it's just something that I would like to.
But you gotta do a first step first, baby steps.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a goal, like you said, you don't want to do this all your life. You don't.
No.
You want a family. I'm sure you want a girl. You probably want your own children.
Probably want my own
right.
always. Yeah.
Right. So it has to be a baby step. You can't just go from this to, oh, I got this great job I want. It won't be that. And it's coming from experience.
Right.
And I'm not saying experience from here, but experience by climbing the ladder, working hard, taking baby steps one thing at a time. And the biggest thing for me was Jesus Christ. I just had to say that straight up.
Yeah. I've been, you know, in and out with him. You know, it's just I went to church when I was little. You know, and I just never got the real connection.
Right.
So-called. But I pray before I go to bed sometimes. If I have a hard day or whatever, you know, pray for the best for the morning or stuff like that.
Okay.
I still believe, so.
Well, make the choice, make the decision. It's gonna be hard, but you gotta make the decision.
Yeah, definitely.
For real.
And being on the streets is something that, you know, they always say it takes your heart, it takes your soul, and it can really fast. Especially when you have those things thrown at you and you're feeling low already.
I come out here basically to stay away from where I live at because 7 o'clock in the morning, you hear the herd of cattle take off. Why? Because they can sell beer at 7 o'clock in the morning in Portland, Oregon. At 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11, you hear the other gallop, and that's the liquor store people. The liquor store now opens at 11, so then you got to listen to all their all day long. And then you can tell when they're leaving and go back for round 2. So I usually get home about 8 o'clock at night, and I don't have to hear them because they're past that already.
I mean, I was in the Clark Center for a period, and I had a job for a period, but I couldn't keep it through the kid, and the job just wasn't what they said it was.
They don't want to be treated a certain way, but yet they're going to get violent. They don't want the violence, but they're going to get violent. Let's just stay here. That's not the way to approach it. You know, these they have homeowners associations. They have sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
You're laughing. So, but you know, they have the meetings. I've wanted to walk in and you know, and just, you know, But hopefully, you know, open their eyes just a little bit, you know, to, there's got to be a way, some type of meeting, you know. There's never a middle, there's never, you know, like I said, even with President happy, you know, but there's ways of treating a human being and how to handle things in a better way.
Right.
If you're gonna come here if I go to another country, I should learn their language. I should abide by their rules, their laws, okay? And when you come over here and you start a gang, you start, you know, doing stuff, and I'm not saying Mexico, I'm saying wherever, you know, you start that kind of crap, you get in trouble, you go back. You go back. I'm sorry, you get busted bringing drugs over, you're done. You ain't coming back over. Taxpayers should not be paying for their asses sitting in a prison. I'm sorry.
Right.
Their asses should go back. My ass should go back if I ever did that. You know, that's my opinion in it all. You know,
They're all salesmen. They're all businessmen. They're all of the above. You don't think that you're dealing drugs, you're a businessman? You're insane.
Right.
Do you know how much money they have to count and handle every day?
Right.
For real. They've got the skills. If they can take a scale and take 1/4 plus 1/4 and figure out what that is, which is 1/8, they're well on their way to knowing their mathematics. They just don't know they have those skills because they're not being taught that they've already got those skills.
They don't have it on Wednesday and Saturdays. You know, and I get food boxes, but it's nothing that you can really cook without having a stove or, you know.
So is giving you food, has any of the churches offered to help you?
No.
None of them have offered to help you?
Nobody's offered to help me out here.
And their thing,
Sorry, I didn't mean to walk on. It's all right, Garrett. Calm down, bodyguard.
They just want to come over. You come over here, that's what they do.
It's okay, brother.
But he says I have to go. For reasons unknown, won't give me a reason why. What is your problem? Tell them why I need to go.
he said he needs to leave?
I've asked for my 6 feet of space. I touched him and then he fucking mocked. So you, I pushed him over. He goes, you're fucking.
Oh, were you in there? He pushed you over?
Oh yeah. Cut it all on camera. I fucking. He's fucking full of shit.
You guys know each other?
Yeah, I thought he was a friend, and now I don't know what's happened, man. You know, I hope he gets his fucking meds or whatever his psychological profile requires. Incidentally, we requested the police come regarding this issue. He's insisting that the police will be here. I really wish he'd just give me my 6 feet. I don't give a what the fuck he does beyond that.
Actually, he could move over 2 feet and it would be.
Why should I move?
And you guys know each other?
In passing. I mean, you know, I've been homeless for a long time.
Let's go with the other side of his homeless argument.
I'm associated with roughly 50 or 60 homeless people just because you see them in the case.
The statement, you haven't moved, okay, which actually leads me to an understanding that you actually have a steadfastness fucking
I just
who
want him
you
to
are
move
and
6
who
feet
you-
as required by federal fucking
Dude,
mandate.
you have nothing to do. It is not fucking federal mandate. It is CDC. CDC
okay.
is a recommendation. You're a freaking idiot. Just
Yeah,
shut the
that-
fuck up.
Well,
Excuse my language, but it's like it's not a requirement.
I think
It
it's
is
a joke.
just a freaking CDC. Okay? It's just like, oh wait, I don't want to cough in your face. So like, oh wait, I'll cough on my hand. Wow. That's a CDC. Dude, that isn't life. Trying to brace my back door so they can't bust in. And then that's my bedroom. Nobody goes in there. Yeah, that is a tent. And then this is where everybody sits. This is my brother-in-law's tent, the one on the curb. He's taking it out of here tonight, but I, kept it for him. So, and I'm making a bike trailer for myself. So so I can, go out and put my cans on it. It's hard for me to walk, and that's my dirty laundry. I gotta push that all the way down to the laundromat on Flavel. And it's hard, man. Especially with my health. I don't have no, because they did my foot wrong in a manual hospital. And usually my place is clean. But I'm just doing it slow today,
Right.
I can't, it's hard for me to move sometimes that way.
Some good stuff. That was some good stuff. I hope you guys learned a lot. I mean, the fact that, guess what? Most people are homeless by choice. It's not because of society.
Well, it kind of is.
Oh, well, true. Society enables that.
Yeah.
It enables homelessness. It enables this way of life. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, they make a lot of money, but especially the cities, depending on what city it is. Like, we heard a lot of them talk about how Portland, they want people to come because they know that they'll get everything that they want or need.
That's right. And then some. One guy was gifted a van.
Yeah.
A van.
I can't be gifted a van. I want to be gifted a van. Oh, but I work.
Yeah. So we got to pay for ours.
Oh.
It's fun.
Well, what if I become homeless?
Well, then you probably get a free van. Get free food.
I do get free food.
And you get tax-free income.
That is true. Wow, what a benefit.
Yeah. It's like that one guy said. There's reasons why guys who make $100,000 a year probably want to end up in Portland homeless.
Right.
It's an easier life.
Easier life.
Stress-free, total freedom.
Just get some pop cans at night.
Oh, go stand on an overpass and sell bottles of water for $1 a piece. You only got them for 25 cents.
Right.
If that, like 10 cents.
You actually can make a living, a decent,
Make a living.
decent living.
Yeah. And freedom.
Freedom.
Hi guys, thanks for your time.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, man.
All right.
You guys have a good day.
You too, mate. Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Sweet. Well, thank you very, very
Yes.
much.
Nice to meet
This
you.
was-
Oh, wait, we're
Yeah,
6
but we can
feet.
do that. We can do
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
I
much.
would-
And good luck. I hope it all works out.
Thank
for
you.
good.
Oh, it will. I'm bound determined. When I'm that set, then it's my way or the highway. And it's not my way. I'll make it happen.
Good.
So that's yep.
Get out. Get safe.
Heck yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right.